Hi, guys. I am here with my beautiful friend, Lisa Black, one of my dear, dear, dear friends. And those who don't know me, I am Amber Rochelle. I am an intuitive coach for highly sensitive women. And we are just going to have a jam session today about something we've been talking about this morning that we feel really compelled to kind of put out there into the world. Did you want to kick us off, or is there anything else you wanted to
No, I fell in love with you because there's very few sensitive empaths that are as rooted and grounded in their truth as you. And that was something that I had spent years cultivating myself. And your stories really resonated with me of how easily we can entrain and fold and give away our truth to placate and please others. And when I saw your leadership and I saw your strength, I'm like, I want to be friends with that lady. So I reached out and like, hey. And you were like, ah! And then we up and we had an amazing time nourishing and nurturing one another, making space for both of us to deepen in to our sensitive power. And so this is a conversation of how we know that empaths and highly sensitives truly can entrain other people deeper into their truth and sensitivity. And we've lost sight of that because of all of the challenges that, these gifts bring. But I admire that about you, and I'm excited. I've never spoken about this before, so I'm excited to kind of, how do we do this, and what is it about, and what would someone need to do in order to actually allow this to come forward?
Yeah. Oh, you put it so perfectly. Okay, how amazing is this woman? All of our conversations are just, but yeah, it's such a powerful, really profound, important concept, because what happened with me when I was growing up, and what I've seen in so many of my clients, is that as sensitive empath women in this world, we get a lot of messages telling us who we're supposed to be and how we're supposed to show up and what's wrong with us and why we don't fit in and how we're misunderstood. And that's really damaging. And it can be very loud too. Like, we tend to be, when we haven't really worked to train our gifts or do this kind of inner healing work, we tend to be very outward focused. It just comes naturally to us. We have these little antennae that are picking up on so much from the world around us that it's hard to detach from that and come back in here. And so many of these women, and myself included in the past, we become very detached from our own truth. And what I mean by our own truth is really like our own experience of the world, trusting who we are, trusting that who we are is okay without any outside input. Being able to, validate our own feelings rather than invalidate them, validate our own experience rather than invalidate it, accept that we are different, but that's okay, and not only okay, but actually really cool and awesome and beautiful. And then to be able to, once you get to that place, to be able to kind of like build your safety and worth and validation from the inside out rather than seeking it from the outside in. Because when we're so outward focused, we really lose ourselves. We lose the power that we actually have within. We lose that safety and groundedness that we actually have access to within, because we're constantly up here and out there. And we also, in seeking that outside validation and worth, we usually put our own needs last. We try and fit ourselves into a mold that is not made for us. And it's painful, and it can cause it's a very miserable way to go through life when we think that there's something wrong with us.
But we mastered that. We mastered that miserable way of life. Like, we did it. We gave it 200%. Really showed up, and we tried to accommodate 13 different people simultaneously. Now that's a damn feat once you start getting into that mojo. And the more you try, the more you're grappling at thin freaking air.
Yes.
And anyone who is in that place, who knows that you are thwarted anytime that you try to become what someone else needs. Because as soon as there is another person on the scene, you can't accommodate two people at once.
Right. And, you know, it becomes this very negative cycle, sort of like the snowball falling down the hill where, you know, I love that you say grasping at thin air, because it really is like that, because we're trying to control things that we can't control. And then when it doesn't work out, we feel worse, and we use that as evidence to tell ourselves that, oh, there is something wrong with me. I do suck. I am bad. And it just continues. And then that makes us want to try harder to this thing that we think we're supposed to be, and it just goes on.
And we're putting hours in. You're putting hours into the day, to try and become more things to more people, and it comes from a noble intention. Absolutely. Hello, I'm a pure soul. I want to be loved, received, and accepted. Would you give that to me, Amber? Would you accept me? Would you mind just reassuring me that who I am is perfect and complete, and that I'm lovable as I am? And the problem is, anytime we do that to anyone outside of ourselves, they cannot fulfill that void. Nah.
We have a little visitor.
You know, and we are the only ones that have that power. And how many years did we clock up waiting for that external person to love us sufficiently to feel safe in who we were? Oh, like how many years? You move through all your family, you're like, right, not getting it there. You move through family. Oh, then you start getting into boyfriends, lovers. I clocked up, 15? Would you love me for what? Would you love me for what about you? What about you? No, right. Okay, I am left. I've never actually gone and asked myself if I would be worthy and willing to love myself deeply and completely as I am. I'm the last one in the room.
Right.
And then that little part of yourself goes, I'll love you.
Yeah.
I'll stay. I'll be with you.
And we have to get to the point where we have the willingness to sort of just surrender to who we are, you know, and to really release all of the messages that have been given to us and the beliefs that have held us back. And just to say, I mean, I hit a point where I was like, all right, apparently I just can't toughen up. That's not me. At least not in the way that I thought that I needed to. Not in the way that I was being told that I needed to. And when I finally hit my rock bottom after years and years of doing this and just said, okay, what do I have to do? What do I have to do to be happy, really? And that was when I opened up to this whole world of inner work and inner healing and going through and looking at those wounds and processing them and loving myself through it, and then deciding that I was no longer going to give my power away to something outside of me. Because when we're fighting our true sensitive nature, it's like we're swimming upstream against a current. You can't win. You can't win. And yes, you can heal and help people from that place, but it's coming from a wounded place. And like you said earlier, I think it's really important to point out that the intention is pure and beautiful. Yeah. But when you can bring it back, pull it back into your corner, into your court, and do that work within yourself, then when you go to give, to help, to heal, you know, it's from a much more intentional channeled place, and not looking for something to complete you, not looking for something to validate you or prove that you're worthy, but just because you want to, just because you're choosing to. And also, like we were talking about earlier, sometimes you don't even have to do anything. It's just your presence of being that whole healed person and standing up unapologetically for who you are, whether or not it fits into this society, whether or not people understand it, but just to own that you are a sensitive empath woman and you feel okay about that and you feel good about that and you're proud of that and you've mastered like bringing that back into your core from a grounded place. You can just walk through a room and affect people powerfully.
Yes, we can. Yes, you do, Amber. And I think why I love this conversation so much is that I think we forget the purpose and the function that we were designed to fulfill, that our presence alone could emanate some kind of opportunity for others to deepen into their truth, their sensitivity, their feelings, and their connection with themselves. Yes. And this has been so hard won for you and I to claim this for ourselves. We never knew that once you'd be so embodied and rooted in this, that our presence would invite other people to be able to give this to themselves. And we're so excited that we know this is the capacity for all sensitive badasses out there, and that this is our destiny ultimately. So why not allow ourselves to arrive there sooner, have fun with it, and actually see you in training others to their sensitivity rather than others training you out of your sensitivity.
Yes, yes, that right there. That right there. Yes. And I love that you mentioned fun too, because it's like, yeah, there's inner deep work around our wounds and around healing. But once you get through that, like, why not be who you are, love who you are, and be able to help and heal people on a more profound level in an easier way? You know, there is a different way to do life as a sensitive where you can really thrive. And, you know, rather than trying to make yourself fit into this other lifestyle, like, make a lifestyle that fits you, claim it and own it. And I think it's so important, especially right now where we live in a society that tells us that we're supposed to be happy all the time, that deep feeling is uncomfortable and unacceptable, and all these types of things, and everything's very surface level and very like busy, go, go, go. What if we are here to shine back that, like, no, like, all of our feelings are acceptable. Talking about feelings is good. It's healthy. Feeling deeply is what moves us to create art, to have deeper connections with each other, to help people more, right? Like, we as sensitives are here to really, in my humble opinion, to kind of, through our own presence, teach that to the world around us and help us shift into a place where feelings are more accepted and we're more open and honest as a whole with each other.
That's just so beautiful to breathe in. I'm just breathing all of that in, Amber.
And I feel like, what if we're 20% of the population, right? Us highly sensitives. What if 20% of the population did this work to come home to their truths? What kind of a ripple effect could we have on this world? Not to mention being happier and healthier ourselves, right?
Right. This is not just for us. But it has to come for us first, and then, there's additional benefits for those around us, our family members, our closest friends, our colleagues, our communities. They can be impacted by our willingness to show up for ourselves.
Absolutely, 100%. It all starts in here. It all starts with that inner work and that coming home to your truth and healing your relationship with yourself and reconnecting to yourself and understanding and honoring your sensitivity. Like, that is the foundation. That's how you stay grounded. That's how you stay rooted. That's how you, come back to your power, where we've been grasping for power and control outside of ourselves for so long. And at a certain point, you got to hit your rock bottom and say, this isn't working. But the awesome news is that the other way to do it is just so much easier and so much more powerful, and really it takes the reins back into your court. Like, it brings you back home to yourself. And then you get to decide what you want to do with this beautiful gift that you have. Not feel like you have to run around hiding it from the world just to belong.
I think what I like most is that you don't just embody this, you don't just articulate this, but you facilitate this. And I think for me, something like your mentoring program is really the space that people need to entrain with a leader who embodies this and who is living this, to be able to palpably feel it. It's not something you can read from a book. It's not something that you can watch a video from someone outside of yourself. And that's why I love that you've created a space where everyone can gather and organically feel and tune into this and discuss it in a safe container, so that everyone can find that balance and connection from within themselves with your presence and your guidance. So I'm very grateful that you're just not preaching this and demonstrating it. You're actually willing to give other people time to connect and commune with you in a very intimate and private way, so that they can create this for themselves and be loved and supported through the strangeness and the transition of that process. Because we all want it, but we don't know how to get there. And because it's a series of steps, we really do need a loving, supportive guide who gets the path. And I'm really thankful, Amber, that you are willing to actually walk along that path with people. Okay?
Thank you. Thank you. It's, it got to the point where I was like, I can't not do this work. Having seen what it did for me in my own life, I'm so passionate about doing this work. And, it's like you said, we can read all the books and we can watch all the videos, but there's something so deeply helpful about having somebody in your corner, having somebody by your side. You know, my job as a coach and my job as a mentor in this program, I'm not here to tell you what to do as my client, but it's to have somebody to reflect things back to you, to hold that vision for you, and to just walk alongside you on the way. It makes it so much easier. It makes it feel so much better. And it's so deeply important. I had so many amazing women that I learned from and that mentored me through this process. And, you know, I think what I love most about the Sensitive Badass mentorship program is that it's not just me. Yes, the women that come into the program have sessions with me, but we also have this container of 10 women that are walking through this journey together. And so we're creating this community where we're all holding space for each other to rise up and to come back home to ourselves. And there's something about a group of women that are willing and that are ready and that are there and that are connected with each other that really creates something magical. It's such a potent space to do this inner healing work. And like you said, a safe space with people who get it, with people who understand, with people who are walking the same path. You know, and it's really, I like to call it kind of like an incubator of 6 months where, you know, yes, I'm teaching and walking you through these steps, but everybody's different and it's going to affect everybody differently in their own life. And that's where me as your mentor comes in to help you piece together, how does this work for me? How does this fit into my life with the individual things that I have going on, right? But we also have all of these women doing this at the same time. And then coming out the other side being like, oh my God, I have me back.
It's a homecoming. Well, definitely put all the details, Amber, because anyone watching this that really would love to check out the details and really tune in to see the resonance for them. I'm really, really proud of you for the amazing work that you did with your clients in your last mentorship. I'm really excited to see the magic that happens in this one. I'm so grateful that we could dive into this conversation and talk about it to showcase what's possible when we're so grounded and rooted in ourselves. Thank you for bringing this presence. I have loved this experience.
Thank you so much. And also, where can people follow you if they want to keep up with you and your work?
Yes, well, my work is a little bit different. I mentor gifted business leaders. So those of us who are empathic and highly sensitive, who are healers, coaches, and mentors for other people, reach out to me for one-on-one guidance to help them with their inner work and their business strategic guidance. So there'll be a link to my goodness, and anyone feeling called can check it out. But shimmy shakes, I'm so always amplified in your presence. Thank you for giving and nurturing me and allowing this conversation to be shared with others in the hope that it can bless and serve them too.
Thank you so much. Oh, I adore you. All right, everyone, I'll post all the links below to follow Lisa, to check out the mentorship. Thank you for watching. We love you, Sensitives.